Welcome to Relate the Great American New Network.
You got a microphone?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Right here.
Oh, you got
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Oh, okay. You can decide.
doing the gangster today, man.
I hear you. I hear you.
But this is American New Network, man. Subscribe, trend, download. If you're on YouTube and you're watching these videos, subscribe, comment, like. We up. We back outside. This is Relate the Great. I'm Greg G, of course. We got the man that won Hustler of the Year. How many times you done got the award?
Every decade, you know what I'm saying? I'm always hustling.
The real version of what the culture is built on. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Dame Dash. You know what I'm saying?
Bang. Well, the last time we spoke, which was a couple of days ago, I made a statement. I said I'm coming back outside, and the fact that we have a studio and I'm in town, you're in town, I said fuck it, man. Let's give him this work as much as possible. Pause. So, we'll start a couple times a week, but my intention is at least 5 days a week.
Of course.
And, for me, it's not always about other people that are fucking with me all the time. It's also about what I learn daily. Because every day I learn something. Every single day. Every single day I learn something. And for me, it's like, if I can learn something that's triggered me, something that's detoured me, something that, has fucked my money up, and I could, experience it and know to do it different, I want to articulate that to the people that I love, which is my culture, my family, so that they don't have to go through the same shit that I go through. So for me, it's like, as a person that a lot of people watch, if I go through some bullshit and nobody learns from it, then it was done in vain. It was done for no reason. So at least when shit be happening, because you know me, I always look at the good side of everything. There's a yin and a yang, and it's for you to find what you can learn from something.
Exactly.
There's never a loss. It's always a learning experience. And the test is how you react to things. And as I've said before, every single day in this vibration, we are all tested.
We are.
There is no person in this world, no matter how they're born, whether they're born into money or not born into money, whether they have two parents or one, or orphans or whatever, no one has a perfect life.
No one.
Not even close to perfect. Everyone, I think, regardless to what your situation is, goes through the same amount of problems. They're just all relative to what's going on in your life. But I feel like if there was an algorithm or the way you could measure how much average anxiety a person feels in a lifetime, how much sadness, how much a person laughs, you would probably find that the people with less money are probably happier, less anxiety, but at least it'll be equal. Because I find that people that don't go through things react as if the things they're going through are really something. And they feel it's just as much pain in their heart. That way they feel as if like somebody died, went to jail, or lost their freedom. So the other night.
Yeah, there was a major situation. We were here at the studio recording, coming up with ideas. And I get a phone call. I have a 15-year-old son, and he was at the bowling alley with his friends, just like all of us have done in our life. Skating ring, bowling alley, meet the girls, get fly, just hang out, And I'm not saying it because he's my son, but I know my son. He's very humble, he's very quiet, he's very laid back. A situation occurred where there were a group of kids in there that were harassing other families while they were trying to enjoy bowling. But my son was already outside talking to a mother of one of his friends. He had came there with a totally different group with a guardian. And so the police, a young black male at that, this is what had me very disturbed. He was ushering the group of the other boys that were the troublemakers outside. Now my son,
he knew them?
No, my son did not know them.
But he was ushering them out?
No, my son was already outside.
Oh, so the guy was ushering him out.
Yeah, the police was already ushering it.
And they assumed he was in the crowd.
Yeah, but he was already outside.
Right, but the police assumed he was with the boys.
Exactly. So he's like, well, I'm going back in. No, you can't go back in. And he just got very irate. And so my son's sitting there telling him, like, yo, I'm with some guardian. I'm not with them guys. I don't even know them guys. No, you got to leave. So He puts his hands on him. He's pushing him away. Now, if you know this bowling alley, it's right by a highway. And this young black male officer is pushing young black males to the road, to the highway. I mean, the highway is exactly nothing but a little small
street.
Right there. Right there. Not even
basically like walk on the road.
Yeah, exactly. Like basically get in the road because there's nothing but a small sidewalk.
And maybe get hit by a drunk driver or somebody that's slipping. Right.
And so he's pushing my son, and my son's like, "Yo, why are you? You know what I'm saying? Why are you pushing me? You know?" And in the midst of doing this, I feel like he was using his badge.
But you said, I spoke to your son, right? Because what he told me was, he said that the guy, he was like, "Yo, I'll call my pops," and he was like, in other words, like, "Fuck your pops, I'll beat up all your dads."
Yeah, I'll slap the piss out of you.
And all your dads or something like that.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I'm from here," and I'm like, "What does it matter where you're from? You're an officer of the law. Why would you be telling this to young kids? Oh, I'm from here. I don't see none of y'all. I'll slap the piss out of you. I'll take my belt off and whoop your pops, your whole family." So the call that I get, you know, first thing is like, I tell Dane, "Yo, I gotta go. I'll be right back." And the bowling alley, good thing, we're probably about less than 5 minutes away from it. So I make it around the corner, and you know, so many things are coming at me in the time that I'm riding at just 5 minutes. And like Dame said one time, the worst thing that I hate being is scared, because I'm not scared of anything.
Except anything with your children.
Exactly.
Only thing that could hurt you.
Most situations.
I had a situation similar to that. Not similar, but we'll talk.
Yeah.
Keep going. So let's frame it right. So you're here chilling. Things are going well. We were actually watching to make sure that things were correct with the last thing we put out with the Steve Stout thing. And then other artists were here. I was advising the art. Just a very creative situation. And all of a sudden, out of left field, you get a call that the cops are messing with your child right up the block. And you have to drive there not knowing what's going on. And that gave you a sense of insecurity, vulnerability,
scared,
all the things that you don't like, right?
Exactly.
So you get there, what happens?
When I get there, you know, as a concerned parent, a loving parent, I ask, who is it that said they're going to put their hands on my child?
And you.
And me, you know, but I'm more worried about my child, because why are you telling them this? You know,
and plus you're triggered.
I'm very triggered.
I mean, there's nothing that can make someone jump out of their get out of pocket.
I don't even remember if I put the car in park.
It's messing with your child.
Exactly, you know? And so I see my child out there. I see his mom out there, and as soon as I said that, this cop comes directly at me, aggressive. "You better get back in the car." Well, I don't, you know, I'm very humble. I'm very laid back. I've been through stuff more than most, just like most. I come from the streets too. Like he said about the PTSD, that is real. You know, that is real. And when it comes to your children, you stop. You don't care who it is. No one is going to treat your child like that. That's the reason why you're living and doing the things that you do, the reason why you hustle. You do all this for your children. You want to protect them so they don't have to go through the same things that you went through. That's why we fight the battles. We fight the battles and we teach the kids, yo, handle it this way. Because sometimes we can handle it the wrong way, but we can learn to teach them, nah, that ain't the way to handle that.
So you get to the spot.
And I'm blowing up.
And you're tight.
Yeah, and the cop is steady.
And this
you
is
better
the reason
get in.
why, right, I got you.
You better get in. You better get in back in your car. And I'm, you know, excuse my language, I'm like, man, fuck you. I don't see you. I don't see no badge. I don't see no suit. I will whoop your ass for thinking that you're going to put your hands on my child just because you have on a suit. That's not going down. I don't care. Like I said, if you're concerned, if you love your kids and you're actively...
You don't even have to justify that. It's a normal reaction, right? So you pulled up with your son and you were tight.
You know what? Believe it or not, what we were talking about, you know, just about 2 weeks ago on this set, and, you know, it was in the midst of us talking about Steve Stout shit, but you said something about your tests.
But what we were doing, what was crazy was, before you got the call, the part we were watching was the part where I talk about when I ran into Steve Stout and Rocky and Mackenzie were like, yo, the test, Dame. And then all of a sudden, what I saw was a test.
Mm-hmm.
And it was relatable to me because my son just got into an altercation with the police on New Year's, and he ended up, and lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's a man, he's 19, or, he's on his way to being a man. And the cops roughed him up. And long story short, it took a while for me to get the truth out of him, but by the time I got the truth out of him, he had the police cams.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, to me, dead wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the cop's face with his fingers and all that. And for me, I was like, yo, you lucky they didn't kill you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're lucky that you didn't end up really hurt bad. And I was relieved that he got out of that. Mm-hmm. I was still angry that they put his hands on him, but I'm like, see, the thing about when you come from the street,
mm-hmm.
there's a way that you know how to deal with police. You know that no matter what, because at me, there was a time way past, years ago, decades ago, that I did illegal things all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So when someone assumed that I was a criminal, I'm like, they not wrong. So I'm walking off no matter what. But the worst thing is for a black man, number one, especially a child, the average child comes from a broken home.
Yeah.
They don't have a father, right? So that's why the guy saying, I'll smack all your fathers is problematic with me, because he knows that most of those kids didn't have fathers. And the reason why I think he reacted a certain way was because he was shocked that your well-dressed son actually did not sell drugs or do anything illegal to actually get that stuff. And you had a father to call and a father that would show up in 5 minutes. Now, in our culture, sadly, that's not the case 99.5% of the time. For him, that was probably Lotto. But the reason why he must have said it was because he probably doesn't have a father.
And that's the trigger thing.
So the thing is, why would he want those children to feel bad that they didn't have a father to call in the first place? That's number one. Mm-hmm. But number two, the point I was making was I never taught my son how to talk to the police. Like, bro, regardless of what, you Spanish, half black, they're going to assume that you're doing things wrong. They're going to always lump you in a crowd. And the best thing to do is say, yes, sir, and get the fuck out of there. Period. Never put your hands in the cop's face. That's crazy, right?
I mean,
crazy, right? But the thing is, I didn't have the conversation with him. So now I've had the conversation with him, but I was like, and this is another thing that bothered me. I'm like, yo, you in college. You don't have a scholarship. I got to pay for that, or I go to court. That's what happens. You don't really know what you're going to do when you come out. When you went there to play football. And, I smoke weed and I party, so I could see it on somebody. You always know when someone smokes weed. Yeah. So my kids are funny when they try to pretend. I'll be like, nigga, you're high. Mm-hmm. Just like I knew as soon as I saw him, because I spoke to him New Year's Eve, he was straight. Next morning I hit him, hood, lumped up. And I'm like, yo, what, you had a fight? And then I'm like, yo, who the fuck put hands on you like that? They must have been nice. Let me see your knuckles. You ain't put in no work. You ain't got no cuts on your knuckles. It looks like you got jumped. Matter of fact, the way you must have got stomped out. And then it turned into either you were very weak or it better have been the police. Mm-hmm. But I never told him, like, yo, I never got to, what I'm mad about is it doesn't seem like college is doing good for him. It doesn't seem like it's giving him the fundamentals that it takes to actually live a real life. A lot of what my problem is about college, I'm like, he goes to college for business. And I'm like, is the person teaching you a millionaire? Have they made a business, sold a business? And I've sold 3 before I was 30 without going to college. I got a doctorate without stepping foot in a college classroom as a student. Mm-hmm. So why would you listen to them over me, and why I got to pay them, and I don't see them teaching you any man skills? And when he goes home on like, I'm like, so where you going for the holiday? We got Easter. You going back to your mother's house? Don't you want to have your own apartment? You want to go home and live in a room? Like, I just don't feel that I don't feel a need for college unless you know what you're going to college for. I don't feel the need to get a child to go into being an adult with a bunch of debt. And all those things. So my point
those
was
are things, but I mean,
but going back to what we were talking about.
No, but seriously, like that is something that needs to really be spoken on, because you just hit every part of it. You know, they're really setting them up to come out here in debt. A lot of them that do graduate,
and unprepared.
A lot of them that
it should
do
be
graduate,
a class
they
on
can't
how
even
to.
get it.
You should have a class in college on how to talk to the police. So one of the things that I was telling you was, yo, bruh, that shit could have been a lot worse, and that should be the celebration that he didn't get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you should make sure you celebrate the fact that you're a dad that was there and that this was his first time with an experience with the police. But the algorithm of any black man is that no matter if you're a doctor, if you're a fed, a policeman, you're going to have a bad confrontation or experience with a cop.
But let me ask you,
it's going to happen. So you got to teach someone, like, a part of life is dealing with the cops. This is how you deal with them.
But let me ask you, why does it have to be like that? Why, like, okay.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I know it, and that's something that needs to be brought up, because we were taught coming up as men, you stand up like a man. You don't run, you don't fold. You don't let nobody violate you. Never make nobody feel less than what you know that you are. You handle that. But just because a person got a badge on, and it's not, they can have control emotions. It's not like that, but they're able to violate you, do anything, sell you out, do anything that way, and there's no repercussions supposed to happen back. Like, little kids are 8 years old, when they see the police, they automatically run.
Well, think about it. I'm going to give you a couple of different parallel examples of how I have to equate it. Now, I'm not going to say I'm that gangster, but I've observed some things, right? I've seen some very serious people have a problem with some very weak people, and them, a person strong, say, you know what? I'm going to pay this debt for you because I don't want to have to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not serious enough for me to possibly have to go to jail, have to catch a body.
Mm-hmm.
It would just be better for both of us. So what usually happens when you have to justify or rectify a situation with a policeman, you got to go through the system, which sucks. You might have to get a lawyer, which sucks because you got to pay him. You might have to go through a trial.
You still got to have money to get back on your grind.
And then you still got to, and you don't have time for that. So even in the street, you'll be like, war is expensive. So you want to do anything that you can not to have to physically fuck with the business. Your life is your business. So for me, as long in that moment I'm tight, but I'm going to be even tighter in the jail cell.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be even tighter having to go back to court. I'm going to be even tighter having to spend money with lawyers. I'm going to be even tighter if I have something better to do that's fun and I got to go to court instead. And there's a slight chance if I don't show up, I could catch a warrant and it could it's that tick where it's like sometimes.
It's a headache.
So this is what goes on with me in business. People fuck off and are very disrespectful all the time. Someone might run off with $1,000. Am I gonna spend $5,000 for a lawyer to rectify some dickhead pause that ran off with $1,000? I lost. It's not worth it. So even today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy how people do things. Matter of fact, let me go back to the kids thing, right?
No.
So even today, right? So there was someone, Omar, who's the head of acquisitions, and he got family out here, and he was like, "Yo, I got somebody that could shoot the Jessies," and I'm like, "Sure, if they want to shoot it, whatever, give me the footage, whatever." So they came through. Holmes had the same camera that I was actually researching, and I was shooting something the next day or a week later, and my other DP was editing, and I was like, you know what, I'll have him shoot this while you edit. I was like, so I let him shoot. And what I was very clear about was the reason that I can't get things done is because the editing takes too long. Mm-hmm. So editors tend to not prioritize when they're not in front of you. They do it when they can, and you can't tell how long someone's working or how long it takes or none of that shit. And also when I edit with an editor. I like to be with them so I could basically tell them exactly what I want.
Step by step.
It's an art for me. So he guaranteed me that he would not take long to edit it. And he gives me a cut in like a week or two. And again, I'm not in front of him. And I'm like, this is decent, but what are we doing? Weeks go by, months go by. And I'm telling him, bro, you slowing me down. Like, you know, I need to, and he guarantees me this will be done, that'll be done. And I did favors for him. Like, because we were working together and I wanted to give the kid an opportunity, you know, I let him bring his friends in here and did a podcast with him. And usually if I don't know you, I'll charge you for that. And again, if I charge you, that money will go to the business and it'll pay an employee. That's the only reason why I'm doing that. Don't go in my pocket. And I did it for free. And he disappears for a week or two. No edits or like slight edits. Then I'm like, bro, we need to get, you slowing me down. I'll have it next week. And then I had to tape something at Jesse's, and he gave me the price for taping it and the price for editing it, no problem. And he did what he had to do. So he's supposed to give me the edit for the rough cut on the Friday. That Friday comes around, he disappears. We're supposed to meet, disappeared. I'm calling him, texting him. Nicolette's calling him, texting him. Now I'm calling Omar, and I'm calling Jay, who brought him around, and he's curving everybody. Pops up a week or two later, and he's like, yo, I had to work and blah, 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 and my phone, some bullshit. And no matter where you at, you could text back, and if you give somebody a word and you're not going to do what you say you're going to do, regardless of what the reason is, to me, out of respect, you should tell him I'm not going to be able to do what I said I'm going to do.
Exactly.
And he knows he's slowing me down.
Exactly.
You know? So then we had one interaction that could have been awkward, right? And it was because he said he taped this Jesse's event. And I said, well, let me see it. And he said, well, you got to send me my money first. And I'm like, bro, first of all, I didn't see it. Second of all, we've been doing business together. Like, why are you even coming at me like that? So when I let you use my stuff and I do an interview for free and I give you all these different things, I don't charge you. But the minute that you can charge me, you treat me like you don't even know me. Like, let's not have that relationship, because then I'm going to treat you that way. But I wasn't mad about it. I was just being clear, like, yo, if you start acting... But either way, in what world do you send me an edit, and I pay you before I see the edit? Like, I could pay you could die. I could pay you could run off. So either way, I didn't feel a way about it. And what I told him was, when you do hand in your invoice, it'll take 7 days, you'll get paid in a week. Because I have to process it, and there's like when you have a business and you pay people, there's taxes that need to be paid. We go through what's called gusto. It's all a big pain in the ass. But it all has to be documented. It all has to be categorized. All the clearances, all the things have. So
when you're dealing with money, you have to do those
It just
things.
takes a minute. But for any corporate business, it's net 30, net 90. But for me, it got to be net 1 hour. I don't know why.
But some
right?
people just think it's hand to hand.
Either way, right? So, again, months have gone by. I haven't finished editing. I can't shoot nothing until I finish what I got. At least for me, I'm not going to start something until I complete it. So he's already, and he blames it on work. Another week goes by. I'm like, yo, what's up? Oh, I didn't get to work on blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, yo, fuck it, man. Just send me the footage back, right? So he gets a text with Nicolette, and he goes, something about some money, and the tone is all fucked up. I'm not even talking to him no more. I'm calling his man that brought him. So I'm like, yo, you got your man, and then the guy wouldn't, so he wouldn't pick the guy's phone up either. And when he finally did talk to him, he told him that I was negotiating with him about money, like a whole bunch of things that did not happen. A lot of shit I didn't deserve. I didn't even understand it. I'm like, why is he even saying this shit, right? So I'm like, at least send me what you edited in the file so I could give another editor. He won't get, and I'm telling the guy, he tells him, he said he's not sending it, all this other disrespect. Get him on the phone then. So now, for that to me, number one, if someone brings someone around,
You vouch for him.
they vouch for him. I wouldn't be speaking to this guy if these people didn't bring him around, and I trust these people, but I trust that if these guys that you bring around fuck up, I don't have to deal with that. But I had to deal with it, and I'm dealing with it, so I'm a little tight about that. So to me, I'm like, bro, you also disrespecting the people that brought you here.
Exactly.
Like, you just don't care.
Selfish.
And then you're not being truthful about what's going on or man enough to have that discussion in my face. So the things I was hearing, I never heard in my face every time he talked to me, pleasant. Like, I'm so shocked about this. So today we started editing, right? Got the raw files, not this, because we had shot it, and he didn't send it edited, so we had to start from scratch. My other man, Josh, comes in here. The shit that he had already edited me,
taking months.
Josh did that shit in literally an hour and a half. Exactly, we up to speed. But there's some footage that he got because he wanted to tape her, because I was doing the narration, but he wanted to tape it a certain way. And it took me, I damn near busted my eyeball. Remember my eye was bleeding?
Yeah.
It was because, remember that time I was directing Nicolette?
Yeah,
and I had to get a certain energy out of her. It was traumatizing, but we got it. And that's not in the raw file. So I'm like mad because I'm like, now I got to do this shit over. So I was like, fuck this. I'm texting this kid. Because I don't want to talk to her. I text him like, yo, that was disrespectful. Stop saying, telling other people you had to negotiate with money or whatever it is. And even if you had to negotiate, because he told her, he told Jay and them that, that Nicolette negotiated with him. And she didn't. But if she did, it doesn't mean drop a project, disappear, not say anything in my face, disrespect the art. And he said he would send, he told me he erased all my shit, even though I got my stuff. But he had a string, he had edited something of the narration, and he said he would send that. So I'm like, cool, just send that. But that interview, erase that too. Don't even put that out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good, just send that. Man, fuck that. I'm not sending nothing. Now he's talking to me disrespectful. So I'm like, yo, fuck you and your footage. I hung up. Now, my point to that is, he's going to have to give an explanation to other people as to why we're not working together. And all he's going to do is say things about me that are not true, that I don't deserve, and, try to make an excuse. But to me, number one, if you respect art, you're not going to erase nothing. You don't do that. If it's over money, and this clearly wasn't, you're not going to disrespect the art because of money if you're really an artist. And then, because his excuse for just disappearing was I had to work. I don't understand how that could have anything to do with me. You gave me your word you'd have something that day. You disappeared. You gave me your word you wouldn't take this long. You've wasted 3 months of my time, and now you have the nerve to have an attitude. Now, I've never had an issue with him. Never had an unpleasant conversation. I challenge that kid to ever say he did, right? Anytime. Just be honest. But that last conversation was not the same person that had been talking to him. But that's the person that they're going to say, I am. That's the person that gets on camera. That's the long-lasting memory of someone that's violated, been disrespectful, and been, by the time, as a human being, I'm triggered, I got to get that last conversation off, and then I'm looking like the bad guy. You understand what I'm saying now?
I mean, let me ask you, what do you think
that's
it's a
my
sense,
life, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, do you think it's a sense of entitlement because of who you are and what people assume that you're doing? Because everybody makes an assumption about things out here. Like when a person meets you, right? And you might say, okay,
they think I'm corporate, but treat me indie. But no matter how, it wasn't a money thing.
But no, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
It wasn't even a money thing. It wasn't even like a thing where we negotiated. Any price he told me, I agreed to. So that's why I was like, why are you saying that? And again, and he was like, yo, in order for me to edit, I have to be inspired. I'm not going to be inspired, but I'm going to get paid. What if you don't like the edit? Bro, I'm definitely not going to like the first edit. It's like tailoring a suit. This is like protocol. Like, in what world does it? So I was using that as a point to say that, number one, people's perspective on respect are all different.
Very, very much so.
And I just think, when I'm thinking it all through, why would he do all that? And I just think it was because of lack of talent. I don't think he could execute the edit that I needed. So what I find is when I give someone a challenge, because you remember we were talking because you were looking around. You were like, yo, you know what I mean? Artists would want to come in here and they say they need this and that. And I'm like, you know what happens usually when an artist gets everything and they don't have any excuses?
Minimum work.
They don't do it.
Yeah.
People always try to excuse the fact that they don't have money not to do something. If you're an artist, money never stops you from creating.
Not at all.
So if you have money and if you don't have money, you're not creating, or the resources. Once you get the resources, you're not going to create. You don't know how. You never have. And you've seen me. And we ain't gonna say no names, but in this environment, if you come in here and say you're an artist, you really got to be an artist. Michael Da Vinci's playing 7 instruments. Nicolette's playing all the instruments, running the cameras, rapping, singing. Anything I ask her to do, it's going to get done. Everybody, like even down to Adrian. He plays the drums, he's singing, he's Phil Collins. He shows up. If Mike is not there, Adrian's showing up.
He's still going to be that soldier.
He's going to be there. So everybody in here is a master at something and brings some food to the table. If you come in here pretending you're creative, a real creative is going to figure out that you're not. And again, I ain't gonna say no names, but there are artists that will play instruments they don't play it well, there's no sound coming out, they're just up there pushing buttons. And if you're not a musician and you're not looking, because I look for what sounds, I want to see how they do it, like I be looking at everything.
Yeah.
What sound? There's no sound coming out of that. If you don't know that, then you're gonna think someone's a musician that's really not. You understand? If you you're if you tell me you could shoot and you come in here and you don't know about lenses, you don't know about cameras, you don't know about lighting, you don't know about editing, you're only gonna sound smart to people that can't shoot.
So why not just say, I want to learn that?
Because most people are bluffing. Most people are lazy. Most people do not push themselves to have the discipline to start something, complete it, and give 100% creativity. They don't respect the art. And that's what generally happens with me. And again, you've been around me. I'm not just walking in yelling at somebody.
No.
But if somebody does something wrong 4 or 5 times and they're not listening, so there's people that I love really in my life. And certain people, the only way they think I'm serious is if I'm mad. So if I say do this, that, and the third in passing, they're not doing it. They're not going to prioritize it. If I say it twice, still not doing it. If I say it 3 times, still not doing it. The minute I get mad, it shit gets done in 15 seconds. Now, I prefer that not to be the process. Mm-hmm. But sometimes, you got to get shit done. And you have to peak, like some people's love language, what makes them react, it's like the street. I know this. When niggas are scared, I don't give a fuck how they feel. They not doing what they just feel like doing.
Yeah.
When you come out there and make an example out of somebody, fear kicks in. Fear sometimes trumps respect. Fear brings respect. But fear should not be emotion that makes you do the right thing.
No, I mean,
and that's the problem, is you got to scare niggas into doing the right thing, and no one wants to be around people that you have to be scary with because they have lack of confidence in what they do, and then they start blaming you for the reasons why they won't do it and making shit up. But if you walk into an environment where you got cameras and soundstage, 9 acres, a place to make sets, and you're supposed to be a creator and you don't do shit but bring an iPhone in here, how could I respect that you're creative?
Yeah.
And then on another level, why should anybody that doesn't know you listen to you? And why do people not think that the people that's their competition are the people they respect the most? If you want to be a rapper, you got to be doing shit better than your favorite rapper. Because that means your favorite rapper is now your competition. And people always say, I don't have the What do you mean? Most people, they got famous. They were stars before they were famous. They did something creative. Like, a lot of what I bring up is like Tyler, the Creator. I'd be like, yo, this nigga had roaches crawling all over him and all that shit. He wasn't famous at the time. He figured it out.
Yeah, he was doing wild, viral shit, and then
he was creative.
Now he got a Grammy.
So if you go, yo, my favorite rapper is Tyler, the Creator, or Andre 3000, then you better bring something as way more creative, or at least as creative, but you got to be better than the people
But
that
not
you
sound
admire.
like them.
You have to bring a certain level of art to the table because that's the reason why you like a person in the first place. Don't tell me that you want to be a professional and that your favorite artist is J. Cole and you're not doing anything better than J. Cole, more creative than J. Cole. Another thing is if you cannot get a crowd in your own hometown, why do you think you could get a crowd anywhere else? And there's this misconception that you have to have a hit record before you perform. Back in the days, you didn't even get in the studio until you perform. The logical thing, as it relates to music and the music business, is how do you make your most money? The shows. So then why wouldn't you practice having the best show? Knowing how to promote a show. Why would you give the most profitable part of your business to a stranger and wait to get hired to get paid? Elvis didn't do that. He got with the Colonel and they booked their own shows. The Colonel used to do carnivals. He said, instead of carnivals, I'm going to do shows. What have I been doing every single week since I've been here?
Throwing shows.
So now here's another thing.
How many people are in there?
I'm going to walk it like I talk it. When I say I'm outside, I'm outside. I'm sick of everybody that's been fucking with me. Today is a new single. Last week, I did a single for bullying, punch you in your face. This is what I taught my child and all my children. Bullies are cowards. They only hit people that don't hit back. That's why you're a bully. Any thorough person needs a challenge. You want someone that could fight, and you beat that person up so that you could get that respect. And then if that person beats you, you're like, yo, good fight. That's honor. So when the bully gets at you, you just got to swing on the bully because a real motherfucker ain't going to be picking on somebody weak in the first place. You find that most thorough people protect the weak. They don't pick on the weak. And that's the reason why it's funny because I bully the people that bully our artists. I bully them and then they cry the most. So you disrespecting my culture, you're fucking exploiting my culture. And when I yell at you, you try to make the narrative that I yell at everybody. Nah, I only yell at people that are exploiting my family, my culture. Now, navigating through a world, hey, can you tell Rocky? She called because navigating through a world where people are complacent, make excuses for lack of effort, and blame you for everything they don't do. It's almost like that's the reason why you notice it ain't a lot of people in here.
No.
And there's only a certain kind of person in here with a certain level of skill. Everyone has to bring a plate of food to the table if we're going to eat at some point. You understand what I'm saying?
It's just like the pack of lions. If you don't hunt, you don't eat. You get kicked out of the clan.
You gotta eat the food you kill.
But it's also, I'm glad you said it, it's also just like the hustle. I think a lot of people have stopped coming. They say they're hustlers, but they're not understanding what a hustle is.
Like,
like you said a long time ago, when a person gives you an opportunity and you're saying that you want to go to this certain place in life or this certain level, and all I need is that opportunity. Why do you feel like when you get the opportunity that you're entitled, oh, okay, I got the opportunity, I have already made it?
That's an excuse. So there's things that I tell people that haven't made it that I've told Kanye, and Kanye reacts completely different. Like, I could tell Kanye to just jump on a table and rap. Before he would just jump on that table and rap. No questions asked, because he wanted people to see him shine. I remember with Memphis Bleek, and again, I can talk about this story because
you got the experience.
This is the experience. I could reference this, no disrespect to him. So when Clue was out back in the day, he definitely had the illest mixtapes. That's why we signed him, right? And what we called it was like, because there was cassette tapes. So if you were on the A side, that meant people were going to listen to you.
Yeah.
If you ended up on the B side, that was like you were runner up.
Yeah, you really had to have some shit.
So for any of my artists to be on a mixtape, I'd be like, yo, we need A-side protection. So we had A-side protection on a Clue tape with Memphis Bleek, and he didn't want to rap. So his album didn't come out for about 2 years behind that. He just wasn't ready. You know, and I ain't going to diss him and say no other shit because I know he might be offended by it, but I love you, Bleek. I'm just referencing that and ask Bleek. He might say he don't remember, but it did happen.
Why didn't he want to rap?
I don't know. But whatever, Bleak at some times I was always arguing with Bleak. His logic never made sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So, it was like he would just, again, it was the same argument. Like,
I was just like, I want to.
It'd be like, why wouldn't you want to perform and open up for Jay as opposed to being in the show? Like, it was always that kind of. But again, I don't want to make it about that.
It's just to make people understand.
Right.
Like if you're a rapper, why wouldn't you want to rap?
But you had a similar situation with a young artist where he was in here, there was another rapper here, there was a beat, and he was like, yo, jump on that. And he was like, I don't like the beat. And they're like, nigga, it's a stage, it's a live instrument, no matter what, Dame Dash is in the building, get up there and shine. Right?
And I'm not going to push it. But that's why I said
So it reminded me of that. I was like, bro, he would have been benched. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm saying, like, when we had the band here, and it's something that I always say to everybody, like, I know that show money is the most money that you're going to make. That's going to be your bread and butter.
Your merch and your show. It's a pop-up show. That's where you make your money.
So why wouldn't you want to learn how to rap and perform in front of a live band? Why do you feel like you have to go to a studio and mess with all these buttons right here and like it's going to make you sound the best? Now, you should work on what's going to get you the money.
I'm going to tell you why. Because the OGs, the people that know, the record exec, they don't teach it to them. These are kids. But the question is, when someone brings it to your attention, why you don't listen? You understand what I mean? Especially to me, like, and again, no disrespect to anyone that's in their 30s and hasn't made it yet, but there's a reason why. Mm-hmm. You're obviously not doing something right, so you can't be stuck in your ways, thinking the way that you're going to do things is going to work if it hasn't been successful past a certain amount of time. Mm-hmm. You have to look at the condition of your life. Mm-hmm. So even me, I would rather have more cash flow so I could do more things. There are things that I want to buy that I can't right now that I know I should, and then I start getting aggravated about it because I'm like, what's stopping the trajectory of what I'm doing? I'm working so hard, but I'm always dreaming. Mm-hmm. There's so many things at one time. I'm a jack of all, master of zero because it's all me. I can't do everything. Again, someone didn't do something today, and Nicolette was like, I'll do it. And I was like, don't do it. Number one, it's not your job, but I appreciate it. But number two, if you do it wrong, I can't even get mad. Mm-hmm. But some people will do everything because it needs to get done. But at a professional level, you need masters. Like, I really need sales.
Yeah.
I really need a good legal team. I really need good DPs, good line producers. If I had the resources, of course I could hire every one of these. But when you don't have all the resources, you got to figure it out. But it still gets done, And the craziest thing for me is I find that when I'm not comfortable, if I don't have the cash that I want to buy, I end up getting it way cheaper. So I'm like, damn, I had the money, I'd have paid for it. But damn, I just got it for free. For me, God doesn't care about money. If God wants me to have it, I'm going to have it.
Say it again, man.
I said, God don't care about bread. It's love. So if I can imagine that I want something and God can hear me, then I know God's going to make sure I have it. Now, I might not be comfortable with the way I got it.
Exactly.
It might not be the contract or it might not be the traditional way, but I always end up with it, no matter what, because I visualized it, because I fought honestly and hard and led with love.
And you believed in it.
And I believe in it. So it's not about bread for me to get what you want. It's about the time. And then when I have the most bread and I start spending on shit, that's the shit that don't work out.
That's the shit. Man, listen, I have a thought process, and I say this to my homies. I say, money, you are money. Money don't mean shit. They use the same amount of ink on a dollar bill as they do a $100 bill.
Exactly.
You're the one that's making the money. Stop, like I say, they only give you money to
roll up, Nicolette.
They only give you money to keep buying the same shit over and over again. And no one seems to understand.
And money's supposed to be backed by gold, and it's not. It's all bullshit. It's man-made, God-made. So the whole thing. Huh?
That's the barber right there.
Oh, shit. Damn, you don't fuck around.
Yeah. You already know good money. See, that's when we say we talk this shit. We're about this shit. We walk this shit. Listen, at the end of the day, what we're giving you is not something to say that we're better than you or because we have a platform we're talking about. We're trying to help. And it's your choice, and that's one thing that God blessed us all with as well, a choice.
It's a choice to listen?
Or a choice not to. But you can't be mad at no one for the choice that you made.
Well, this is what I find. And it's another point I want to make after that about God that I realized my relationship with him or her.
Hey, Nicolette, you'll get that door?
Yeah, it's open.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number one, I always have things worked out in my brain, how things should go. And I visualize it, and I know God can read my mind. And I believe that sometimes God be like, yo, he got it laid out. That's too easy for him. I'm throwing a curveball. God's in my thoughts. He knows when I got, because everyone has it laid out. Like when you're gonna build a house, I'm gonna put this much money in, I'm gonna make this much, and then it ends up being completely different. You spend more, it ends up taking more time.
How to adjust.
That's God.
Yeah.
So I even have a plan, but I always know that because God is challenging me, because God wants me to learn a different lesson. He doesn't want anything easy. He wants me to figure it out. So if I have it all worked out, he gonna throw me a curveball. Now, going back to the thing with our sons. The other day, I got this scuff on my leg, right? And the other day it was because we're in a guarded community. Cars don't come by, so we be in the streets sometimes. Baby Dusko was going for a walk with Skylar with the dog. And I'm like, let me go make sure that's all right, because the dog's a lot and he's on a bike. So I have my bike. And I was chasing him on the bike. I'm talking about, that's the most fun I have is playing with my son, chasing him on the bike. But he in the middle of the road and there's a turn. So usually I go ahead of him to make sure in that turn that no one's there and I can see it. And I was just making a loop to go back around, and the car was coming fast. So you're not supposed to drive that fast in there. But he in the middle of the street, the car doesn't see him. I'm going, yo, yo, yo. I'm going with the electric
bike.
And he wasn't stopping. So finally, and it was the most scariest shit in the world. So I got close to my son, and he wasn't stopping. I jumped off the bike, tried to jump on him, ended up scuffing my shit up and all that. And it was very scary. The guy stopped. And it was one of those things where I was so scared that I had to celebrate that what I thought was going to happen did not happen. I saw it. It made me not be mad at anything. It made me celebrate life. Because no matter how much money I got in the bank, no matter, I'm a billionaire, it don't matter. That would have destroyed me. I don't know if I could have recovered.
Exactly.
Rocky would have been out of here. Nothing would have been right. So for me, that just made me appreciate my life even that much more, my priorities right on what bothers me, and that's why I'm dealing with shit. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't give a fuck. My son is good. My children are all right. I'm healthy. While I'm healthy, I'm active. I'm appreciating live life to the fullest. My last name is Dash, and life is the Dash. The day you born, the day you die, that dash in between is the life. That's me. That's my family. So I'm on one. And another thing, I saw the clip of, again, I just see the clips on Instagram and on TikTok, and I saw the clip of Noriega, again, bringing my name up. No dish. I love you, Nori, but you do keep bringing my name up. You know what I mean? It's all good, and I don't mind.
It's all good, Nori.
But you keep bringing my name up, but then you don't acknowledge when I'm saying why you keep bringing my name up. Acknowledge it. Nori, you my brother, right? But he asked about me again, and Vlad told his reasons why we aren't cool. And literally out his mouth, what he said was, he called me to talk shit about Jay-Z, my opinion about how it looked when, I guess, Solange kicked his ass in the elevator. And I'm like, literally, nigga, you gonna call me to ask me to talk about Jay? About something that ain't got shit to do with me?
A situation.
I'm gonna do an interview leading with that? Never. He called me on, on a day so, cool. In the middle of an interview with Kenyatta, and he didn't want to say, well, it was Kenyatta, hip-hop motivator. Kenyatta in the middle of an hour interview. And also I didn't like, he's always talking about Dame. About Jay. No, people are always asking me to talk about Jay. You are one of those people. This was years ago. So then, in the middle of it, he asked me, and I was like, yeah, that shit was funny to me, like, blah, 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 blah. It was just in passing. And this dude called and was like, yo, how you gonna give him the interview and blah, 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 like an entitlement for a man from another culture for me to talk shit about somebody in my culture. And he was literally mad. And then because I told him, it wasn't no crazy yelling and no argument and none of that shit. I just said, yo, I'll see you when I see you. And it didn't mean gangster shit. What the fuck? I'm not gonna kill Vlad. I'm not gonna hurt Vlad. I'm not hurting nobody. But because I'm a black man that says that, it means, so he said and told Hip Hop Motivator, and I never asked him to run nothing of mine. He said I asked him to run some shit. I'm like, nigga, I wanted his plugs. So he was with Complex, and I said, yo, I'm not going through you to get the So what Complex was doing was they go get ads from people, and they would put their ad tag, it's like it's a tech kind of thing, on, like, let's say on Vlad. So Complex would put it on Vlad. So they were basically getting him the ads, and whatever ads would play, he would split it in half with them. What he tried to do was put that same ad tag on my shit, but he get his, and then, you know what I mean? And I was like, nah, I'm gonna go directly to them. That's all he did. So I got directly to them, and I had my own ad tag, and he tells Hip Hop Motivator, Kenyatta showed me the text. He goes, what are my, and I don't even want to say this because
Let's go.
No, because I don't want people to get it wrong. But he was like, what am I, I'm gonna get to the religion, but he said, what am I such and such Complex partners gonna think when I tell them that Dame Dash just threatened me? And so the whole moral of the story is, because I didn't talk about another black man to another white man or someone that's not from our culture, because I had the conversation with my brother in the midst of another conversation, it means now you're gonna talk shit about me and bring me up and try to make me hot and act like we got a beef. And what he's made it is obvious that certain kinds of people, if you won't start a fight with your brother on their platform, they're going to try to bring because that's a bitch ass niggas, right? Mm-hmm. They're gonna get other bitch ass niggas to fight and try to stop you from moving forward. The thing about bitch ass niggas is they unite. When bitch ass niggas unite, they really go through things that real people wouldn't. You know, there should be a bitch ass United Nations, just a whole nation or just for bitch ass niggas to do bitch ass shit. But when bitch ass niggas unite, it's like you don't want to fight people that are weak. If they all real niggas gotta start uniting. Thorough people, we gotta start uniting. Because they weak motherfuckers, that's the only way they could survive. That's it. Now, I was watching a documentary yesterday. It was on AMC, it just happened to be there, right? Now, the thing about the Hitler subject with me is if people are so triggered by him, and I'm not defending it, I advocate shit that he did.
Yeah.
But why are there so many documentaries about this man on fucking America TV? So many every time I turn the TV on AMC, there's always a Hitler thing. So I happen to be watching it, and what I found...
I just thought about, but go ahead.
Right, and then they get mad when you say some shit about it. So what they said about him was, he was a painter, a creator, and his father used to abuse him because he was a painter. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Why would his father abuse him a young kid because he wants to be a painter? Now, back then, why would a father abuse his son? That's creative. Pause. He was mad that he might have been fruity. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect.
Yeah. Could
right?
be.
But that's what it... So now I'm looking, and his father abuses him. He tries to go to school for art. It's art school, and they said, yo, you could draw buildings, but you can't draw people. So they didn't accept him. And also, his mom was Jewish. I don't think people know that. I could be wrong, but that's what I saw on the doc. So then it goes into how hands-on he was for architecture and certain things. But at the end of the day, he was a creative that was stifled, that was just hitting out at people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then there was a scandal. Either one or two of his girlfriends killed themselves. Like back-to-back type shit. And then he had a scandal with somebody that was gay, like a big scandal. And he had to go make a book with all these pictures in it of him being heterosexual to get people to forget. This is before he became the Fuhrer. So I'm like, yo, this is like, what happens when you damage someone that can't be themselves? If they're creative and they can't have that outlet, they take it out on the rest of the world. You know what I mean? And again, as I'm watching, I'm like, why do they keep, every time I look at regular television, there's always a Hitler documentary. Why? So you can't be mad. I just want to know why. Like, why is so many documentaries about Hitler on TV? Because I'm not with it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know about it if it wasn't on TV. So why is that not questioned? If you question that, any Hitler shit at all, why is it questioned? Why do they play these docs every day on American television for people to watch? But the shit I saw didn't make it seem like make him strong. It made him weak. It also said that he had like a Michael Jackson kind of doctor that would, when he had like his sinuses, he was sniffing coke. They used to prescribe him coke. And that he was on like X the whole time. They were on like acid the whole time. Or meth or some shit. They was meth heads. They said when he went to war with Germany, that the nigga was high. So high that he was like incoherently high. Like they got the picture with the swollen face. I'm like, yo, Hitler was a dope head? I didn't know that. This shit is crazy, right? And I'm like, I just learned that yesterday on TV.
Damn.
So again, don't try to cancel me. I'm not saying I advocated, but if no one wants to, talk about the guy, stop showing documentaries about him all day.
But you know that they say who controls media. We're gonna leave it at that.
But why would they do that? Again, either way. So I wanted to deal with the Vlad situation. I wanted to make sure that I did see that. And yes, Vlad, your reasons for talking about me every day, it's not acceptable. And the guy's reason, the editor, his reasons, to me, like, because Nicolette tried to negotiate with him, you don't drop a project and disappear because someone tries to negotiate a price. That's regular business.
You just get back and say we weren't able to come at ours.
Yeah. But it wasn't even a negotiation. Nicolette had asked him about what charges were what's this for? What's that? It wasn't like, but he got so butthurt about it, or at least that's his excuse. And now you're gonna run around saying, you're not supposed to negotiate with me. Why not? But we didn't negotiate with you. You know what I mean? And if you have a problem with a man, if you have a problem with somebody, don't smile in his face, act nice. If that man's a good dude, I think that he could take that conversation and will respect you for standing your ground, as long as it's respectful. But when you start being catty and telling other people, that's what triggers somebody. And this dude doesn't mean shit to me. Nothing. Zero. I wish him well the whole nine. I would never be speaking to this guy. He's never made me $1, and it still made me mad. So what it means is, regardless of what the number is, certain things, certain boundaries, certain kind of disrespect, it's going to make you feel bad. If somebody robbed you for $5, you feel just as violated as if it's $5,000.
Do you feel they disrespected you?
It's just disrespect, and you're still going to get just as mad. So,
no matter how big or small it is. Yeah.
Well, all I was going to say is, for me, the advice I could give is you have to adjust based on your environment. Always look for the test. It's always a challenge. And the only reason why I could say these things is because I've fucked up and failed so many. And when I see things in people, what I see in them is I see me. Mm-hmm. The things I see people do wrong is because I'm doing it wrong or I've done it wrong. So you have to, if you want a different result, you just got to do it different.
But why is it like you have so much love for people, and I understand where you're coming from because I'm the same way. It's like if I've been through something and I can help you, I want to try to help you, whether you ask for it or not, because you may not know what you're leading or what you're going into.
It's your job.
Why do people take it as, you feel like you know everything, or you don't know what you're talking about? It's just like you can leave it alone.
That's the devil. That's ego. The person that makes you mad at somebody for giving you advice is the person that's saying, oh, he's trying to tell you he's better than you. That's that devil on your shoulder. It's ego. Ego is a false sense of self.
Yeah.
But most people that want to be better, when they hear they're doing something wrong, they appreciate the person telling them. They're like, oh, shit, I was doing it wrong the whole time.
Yeah.
I could be making more money. But other people that have a false sense of self, that haven't had it. See, when you've taken a lot of W's, when you won a lot, you don't feel any kind of way about doing something wrong because I think I'm 10 for 10. I could do something wrong. Mm-hmm. But if you've never done anything right, if you've never caught that W, if you've never been that guy, it's kind of hard, I think. I don't know because I've never been that guy that just took a lot of L's all day long my whole life. It's hard to, I think, change, and that's the reason why you're taking so many L's. They just can't take it. Their ego gets in the way all the time. It's a lesson that they have to, a test they got to pass. Yeah. But most of the people that act like that are people that aren't doing it right, that haven't done it right. How many times have someone successful that you've given advice to that can help them, have someone successful said, get the fuck out of here?
Plenty of times and they take it as, I just don't understand, like, you pray for certain things and you get them, but because they didn't come the way that you thought them out of your head, you reject that blessing.
It's ego.
And I mean, like, how can you have an ego when you're trying to, if you're trying to go up, how can you have an ego?
The ego, that's the reason why you haven't gone up. The test is to get past your ego. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, we discovered something today, which was great, because, you know, I'm putting the new CEOs out.
Yeah, fresh.
You know? And I was like, yo, how you like the logo? And he was like, yeah, it's the pause. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
This means pause.
This means pause.
This is sign like this means pause. So when I have these on, if I miss out and say pause, I said it in sign language. Fuck that. In Braille. You know what I'm saying? What's pause in the what's it on the pause on the whip machine?
That's pause, like, you know, if you grew up around the times that we did, you know, you had play, and when you press pause, it looked like that right there. See, to a lot of you young kids now, it'll look like blow the picture up on the screen, but that was the pause. That's how pause.
Old school, look. And that's when pause was made up.
Yeah.
Pause. So these are the new CEOs. These will be out. Colors, you know. And again, Jaclaire, Willie Esco was gracious enough to help me with my brand. With my brand, we did the collaboration. And in doing the collaboration, he taught me how to make sneakers, even though I've made sneakers before, but current day. And I didn't have and don't have the bandwidth to be making sneakers all day. It's a job or vertical needs a brain to run it every day if you're really serious about it. And I need to be more serious about it. That's why I'm trying to bring my daughter into the loop. But Willie Esco still helped me construct it, and I still might use a Willie Esco Jaclaire Soul. But this is the CEO. And, you know, when you have a brand, you got to step out. You know, first you might be with somebody that could get you where you got to go, but then you got to fly Pelican flat.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got to come. If I can't buy Jaclaire, I got to do it myself.
Yeah, exactly.
And anytime he wants me to, or we want to do you know, and the thing about it is when people talk this, I'm gonna buy, that means I'm gonna go raise some bread. Unless I make a catch a lick and I have so much money. See, where I'm at in this day right now is I've done enough. Like I've spent the money on the content, I've spent the money on the app, I've spent the money on everything, and now I don't mind raising money, but what I would be raising money to do now is just pause for growth. It would be for content and growth. And I wouldn't have to dilute so much because I've done so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I said, I start a company, get it clicking, have some success, then I go get a partner, because when you get a partner with an idea, they end up owning 90% of it. But for me, I've already put up $20 million. So you got to match that. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Yeah, and then you have an evaluation. So, like for me, the way we evaluate in my business, at least, and the evaluation is subject to the person. If you get away with it, but for me, every download is worth $100. So we already have, let's say we have 46,000 downloads. That means the company is worth $46 million right now. So if someone wanted to be my partner, they'd have to give me $23 million right now.
Half of what it is.
For half.
Yeah, because I don't put the work out.
So now I can say this is how much I need and this is how much it's worth. Now if it's less than that, then you deal with that appropriately. So if somebody's gonna give me $10 million, then you know what it's worth. But if I get with you when I'm at 100,000 downloads, Now I'm worth 100 million. And if you want to be my partner, it costs 50. If I get with you and I have 1 million downloads, now I'm worth $1 billion. So you want to be my partner, you need 500,000. That's business.
Yeah.
And that's how evaluations happen. It's based on EBITDA usually, but we could talk about that another time. But today, I think we said a lot.
Yeah,
you know what I
we said a
mean?
lot.
And this is just a day's work. Now, I'm really excited. Kitty Red came in from Indianapolis. We're putting out this single.
Naptown in the building.
Naptown in the building. This birthday record, I think, is serious. I think it's urgent. She's putting in the work. She drove all the way from Indy. She's going to perform tonight. We're going to talk to filmmakers about Josh, one of the Joshes. Pause. We're going to be joshing around, and we're going to be talking about the movie, the TV show, and the editing and all that. And then I'm going to go to New York, and I'm going to see if she's going to come to New York. Y'all might come through to New York.
Yeah, we might.
But I'm back outside. So I'll see y'all in New York. But also, tomorrow we'll probably have some more shit to talk about. We're doing Jesse's tonight.
Yeah,
editing.
Y'all come out to Jesse's night. Great vibe. We had a great time last night. We will have the meetup there tonight.
The meetup is food.
Oh my God.
Vegan food, cheesesteaks.
That tastes just like regular fucking food. I'm telling you guys, like, I was scared at first. I was the last one to try. And how many chopped cheese egg rolls I ordered last week? I had like 16.
Yeah.
16. She like, Greg, you gonna eat that many you got? They ain't gonna right. I mean, like, now I know that I can eat something that's good for me as much as I want. Yeah, I'm going in.
It's definitely better for you than meat.
So tonight, man, come out and support. We will be at downtown Jesse's. We will have the meat up there. We will have, I think tonight is chopped cheese sliders. We have the egg rolls. We have the ribs. We have the.
So we give you the show. We give you the food. We give you an experience. Michael Da Vinci, Nicolette, the whole trip summit, Kitty Red, and I'll probably interview her a little later tonight. And we're gonna make more music. But yeah, matter of fact, tomorrow we'll interview. Oh, I'm gonna tell you tomorrow we gotta go.
Yeah, exactly.
We gotta go on tomorrow.
So that's what we're showing you. This is related to Great, but for the whole American News Network. Y'all asked for him to be outside, now he's back outside. And he's gonna flood the streets. That's how you do it when you hustle. You flood the streets.
Flood the market.
Yeah, you put your name
Fuck
on everything. You can't turn nowhere without seeing your name stamped on it. We're just giving you the product. We're giving you the tool for free right now. For free. And when you watch it happen, don't try to, like he said, when I'm at 1,000,
and for all
when
you
I'm
guys,
at 1,000,000.
whoever I spoke about, if you feel away, don't pretend to be another account and start talking that same shit again. I know it's you, and that makes you a coward. And I know who you are. Just have a regular conversation with me. You don't have to troll. You don't have to pretend you're somebody. You don't have to follow me from a different name. I'm in the tech game now. I can see you. I already know. All right? So I'll see y'all, American New, whatever. And it's going to be some interesting weeks coming up. I'm pissed off.